for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little.
You stand condemned! Your penance is due! You stand condemned! Surrender!
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait! Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces? Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling... Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him. Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell... Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond a... Yeah. Maybe a... Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so... Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there. Where Kazuha is.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge... If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they could...
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right, then. I'll just stay here and carry...
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're all— In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly. But there came a time when some of these blades— We later learned that the whole— Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only— In the interest of preventing further harassment of the bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not—
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture—
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will find you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of— Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara.
I sense some hesitation in your— Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of them—
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was an—
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaid— Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to—
What? But that doesn't—
That is correct. However, to some—
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, This
is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some—
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then.
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that over time these techniques came to form something of a Kaidahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle.
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a serious nut.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious—
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to—
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Futile!
there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him?
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an...
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can...
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have...
Millions? Of mora? Whoa!
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make... Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to... But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an...
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought you...
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in... If anyone had been out there attacking people, that...
Uh-oh. Looks like the trick...
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked... Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured, or, for the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless...
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedehara.
You flatter me. Truth be told...
You are much too humble. Don't worry, Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last... Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more...
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya...
Amenoma! Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of 2 grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor...
Sure, can't hurt. We never know.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by
Sounds good.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you...
Huh? You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep... After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most... The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun. And over time, unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmith.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties. And just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedahara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back. Yes, strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to give. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and he is extraordinarily talented in martial arts.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him, but making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found... And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument, but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so...
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from...
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's gotten... Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame no Mayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and, nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
That is the most likely conclusion based on everything we know. However, in this case, only one of the parties would have started the fire. That would make, if this is indeed what happened, and the innocent man hasn't come forward yet, then it suggests they may have already lost their life. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Right. Although the time frame seems Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this...
Let's keep going. Since if we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs.
Okay, but...
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still... Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those, as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did put it to good use when we were chasing down that...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around...
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and...
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. Judging from the concentration...
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters. But most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the You needn't worry. Both of us have faced...
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse bug...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this. Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here. Quite possibly.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Nowhere to run! Futa! Nowhere to run!
Don't blink!
Nowhere to run!
It's...
Ugh! Look at this red stuff!
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is... well, let's take a look. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Ame no Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the...
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatari. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point. Yes, right now we need to if Ame no Yuya is attacking other people in
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell for a practitioner of the martial arts. The easiest desire to all the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnect. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only...
Wait! You figured it out? So these two cases...
I believe so. But it's on with the search. We must stay vigilant. He seemed...
Why here? Is there anything...
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the...
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So what's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no... But what if instead of facing Ame no Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off its... Whoa! Surely you don't...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years. Or rather, as a means to occupy.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already did... Many years ago, I was forged by a famed blade as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. He not only bestowed upon me in her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single...
So, swords?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed. After the death of my creator, I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Amenome Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you...
My hosts? Who cares what happens when they got tired or...
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided at long last, I'm a Kaedehara Kazuha. You stood against the Raiden Shogun's move. Now, give your butt.
Wind Strider!
Submit to me!
That hurts! It's fine.
As one with wind and cloud!
Join me and sever that divine light!
Through me, justice is served.
Me!
Your penance is due!
We shall rewrite history! Do not stand in my way, or I will
Your bluff's fooling no one! You've lost!
Lost. I can never lose. It is this body that has reached. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same. I will end this wretched... And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but by any means necessary and any medium available.
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You can tell all that just from his
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenome Yuya's body, its movements express... If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am on his deathbed? He passed to me in that regard. Why?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in... Now that I've seen inside your mind... After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak.
Oh, that's right! Paimon remembers now!
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong, it threatens to... You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But I think you realized your limitations long ago. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one...
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that... Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. How could you possibly unleash the full
Silence, you blabber. I must achieve my goal. I will concede that you are most perceptive.
And you should...
Easy for you to say. Facing reality, I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedehara clan.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demand.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. Once we have dealt with them,
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak. The power of the Tatarigami... Even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept...
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. Now...
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you got...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably... If a blade built for Ishin art cannot end... If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight...
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been
all right.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't...
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty trick. Okay, fine.
Time to go. Leave everything on this journey to me. Wind Strider.
To the ferry. Let's get down to business.
Wind Strider. Clouds high. The birds call. Wind Strider.
To the ferry. To the ferry.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, though he's making every effort to persevere, I do...
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather, let's keep going.
It's my lucky day!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
It's my lucky day! How's this? To the very... my blade!
Clouds high, the birds call!
Whoa, something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is... he cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely...
But what would that do to Amanome?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any... He's still trying to achieve...
Time to go! Wind Strider! Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
You win.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looked...
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see...
true form. What are you talking? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. It barely needs stating anymore. I've finally figured out why it was that you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps, but regrettably, we are nothing alike. The only one who truly understood you.
Huh? What's that?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this.
Don't worry. I'll use my own. It's just more of the same.
It's my lucky day! To the very...
This will end you!
Clouds high, the birds call!
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be...
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect... Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper... Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is.
Actually, this is just a generic blade. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must... There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power to Tarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was...
I sensed it, but I couldn't...
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I feel a great sense of regret for you. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. My life, my How could I possibly... I said to him, do not worry, from here... How...
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to...
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final word.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a He spent the rest of his life in the forge. Not to vent his frustration, he felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, so he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blades.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was... This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities. But
Shame it's too late.
Yes. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes, but darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition...
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor... But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't...
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, my physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess...
His attitude has... What do you think, Kazuha? Should we...
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me, alas, after that, he never rose from his... Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience...
Oh? And who would...
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after... You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he...
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must... If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim...
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even now. Paimon still. Even if he's way past the... Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
That hurts!
Fine. Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Wind strike!
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness, nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedahara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedahara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is...
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji, from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency, tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
But... he... guess there's nothing we can say to...
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes, the cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Wait, shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.